Hi there, this is H. Victoria Hagar Atkerson. I'm a writer and an author, and I have 4 books of publication, and I have one on the way in January. It's going to be a two-parter. It's on slavery, and I think you're going to love it. I think you're going to really love it. I enjoyed writing it. Today, I have a question from a person who is a beginner in her writing experience, and she has asked me to kind of go into my uh, feelings about what is important for a writer to think about or to practice when they're in the act of writing, and what part does your belief system and the truth have in that process. So I want to preface all of this with the fact that I did not study writing as a career, and I'm no expert, but I can give you my own personal experience and just let you know what I've experienced. So from that point of view, I would say your belief system is the heart of your writing. I think what you do um, at your computer or with your pen and paper shows your integrity. It shows everything that you are. What you are comes out on the page, whether you know it or not. I think it's that subconscious, subliminal message that you pass on to the reader or anyone who experiences your writing in any form. Um, that shines through, and that's really the anchor for all writers. It's your belief system, and it's why you're there writing in the first place. So I think it's really, really, really important that you are aware of that, and I think it's great that people can celebrate that in their writing. It makes the writing interesting, and it also gives it a wonderful flavor. And I think that's what makes it all different. That's why you have so many different authors, because you have so many belief systems and so many experiences to tap into as a reader. When you're reading something, I love to read things that that when I can feel some passion coming from that writer. So yes, 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 your belief system, your integrity, you all that you are is critical in your writing and in the writing process. And as for the truth is concerned, I would say the truth is critical. If you're writing a story about different characters, portraying them in a certain role, whether it's being a mother, a delinquent child, or abusive husband or boyfriend or whatever you are doing, you need to follow that character in truth. You need to know and experience what it's like um, to be in that person's shoes. So if you don't know what's in that person's shoes, it's important that you do the research. Like I said, I cannot emphasize this enough. You must research, and if you're studying something about a mass murderer, you need to write about the details of what that personality is like. And if you don't know what it is, just like something about, uh, if you're writing something about people who are drug addicted, if you don't have that experience, you need to go find out what it's about. Or you need to, there are 2 things you can interview. You can interview a person who has had that problem. You can interview people who have experience being with people who are drug addicted. You can read. You can, just go get out there and see what is available. Agencies and professionals who work with those people are also very good to interview. So let your let the world be your guide. In other words, when you're doing your research, go everywhere and anywhere you can to find out about what you're trying to write about, and uh, own it. Really own it, because it's really great. You need your characters to say what they mean, and not have that personality or those traits lag in the story. if you have your characters doing something that's not characteristics of their behavior, then your reader is going to sit back and say, well, what is that doing there? Why is she doing that? That doesn't make any sense. And I know I do it when I read stories. And I'm sure people do it if they find that in my writing. And I would hope that I've worked on those areas and I try to work on those characters to make sure that they are true to their, um, true to who they are or who I have created them to be. So write the truth, not necessarily from your point of view, but from the character's point of view and from the story's point of view. The story and your characters must always be in sync with the truth. So it's a really a great thing that you can do. Now, one of the things that I love about writing is getting feedback from people who have read my books, because as I've always said, we write in private. It's our own little special world. We create these wonderful stories, these wonderful characters, but they don't live with us. I mean, we create them, then we release them, and they live in the world. It's a wonderful thing when people see things in your characters that you don't, and they see a truth in your characters or some type of definition that you have not, that has not even occurred to you. And that has happened to me more than once. You know, like in this story, Stones Along the Path, we're talking about Jessica. Someone told me it was such a strong, powerful woman that I wrote, and I was like, oh, really? You think so? Because I never thought of her as being powerful. I thought she had some power, but not as a powerful woman. I didn't see her as being that. But this reader really did. So, it depends. Like I said, she doesn't live with me anymore. She lives out in the world. So hopefully the follow-up, if I keeping to that trend and giving her more definition in the world, is something that we really want to do and concentrate on as writers. It's very important. But one of the fundamental things about writing is to make sure that your belief system and your truth and the truth in the eyes of those characters and in the storyline, that they are all cohesive and they're all following the same trend and they're in sync with the storyline. So that's like a fine line we tread, but it is a fun ride. So you need to enjoy the process and enjoy being a part of it. Like I said, don't be afraid of the research you have to do, because a lot of times when you're doing these weird personalities and strange people that people love to read about, whether they're in a mystery or a horror story or a romantic tale, they're going to be attached to them. But you need to do the work. If those characters are to come alive for that reader, you need to do the work. So it's one of the things that I really love. And sometimes they get too real for me, because sometimes when I'm washing dishes, I can hear Akinyele and Jessica, yelling at each other or having an argument, and I can visualize their environment. And one of the things that my sister, Jerry, and she's my sister who had cancer, I took care of her for 4 years, and she loved these characters, and she said, please don't let these characters die. They should live on. They're really great, And I was like, oh, I don't want to do another book about Akinyele and Jessica. I had them walking in my house for I don't know how many years. I'm so glad to get rid of them. I can never do another story. And she you have to do this. It may be difficult and may be a little bit, taxing for you, but you really need to do this. And I'm like, I don't think I can do it. But she argued with me for a while, very intensely, because we had some really good arguments. But she won, and I ended up writing the first draft before she died. She absolutely loved it, and I'm very pleased. And it's one of the things that I've been trying to deal with, and it's like the emotional part of writing. I wrote it for her, and then I set it aside. And she died in 2008, and I'm still not haven't been able to get back to it into, to this year. I started, going back, checking it out, and perfecting it and making it real, and pulling it together and getting it in final form. So we will be able to publish that book in 2017. So that's coming up for you very soon. And I think you'll love the adventure. I know I enjoyed writing it, and it shows a different facet of African life and a different side of Jessica. It also shows a different side. It defines the people in her family more clearly for you. And it also defines Akinyele's background, and it gives you more insight as to his motivations and why he's so intense and such a stalker. But it would be, I think it would be really revealing to the reader as well as me, the writer. It was quite interesting to write. So I invite you to take a look at that. Now, I have an announcement. The cover for the book I finally sent it off. It's the final copyright. It has been done, so I can start sharing it with you next week, and I can't wait to hear your responses and see if you had the same reaction I did when I saw it. I love it. It's going to be the cover for my next book, which is entitled Enslaved, and I'm very excited about it. And I'm also very excited about the process that I have gone through with that book, because it was an adventure, a real adventure, to go back in time to do research on my people's history and to personalize that in a fictional novel. And like I said, I do romantic historical fiction. That's who I am, and there's a lot of passion in this book as well. And it's also a lot of tragic circumstances that befalls these enslaved Africans. So I would like you to take a look at it and let you see what it felt like when I was writing it, because I felt like I was inside of a slave ship at times. And I could, just picture that whole scene and using all that energy, my resources that I use. I did a lot of research on slave ships, and just looking at the diagrams and listening to people who wrote diaries about their experiences running this slave ship. There are books out there if you're interested. There's just so much that I learned, and I hope you will enjoy it in this fictional account of slavery. It's going to be great, and I look forward to introducing it to you next week. We'll start seeing. I'm going to give you little hints about it and little tidbits about the book. So it's going to be great. It should be out in January, so I'm very excited about that, and I'm excited about you having the opportunity to read it. So you take care, and enjoy your weekend. I'm going shopping, not for the gifts. I'm going out looking for Black Santas. As I said, I'm a collector, so I love it, because I'm just very passionate about that, as I am with the writing. And this is the time when I get started. Like right after Thanksgiving, I start hitting the trail looking for Black Santas that I don't have. So if you hear of a place that has some, give me a call, send me an email. Now, my website is www.hvictoriahargroatkerson.com. Yeah, it's a contact me on that website. It'll send me an email, so do that. And look for my books in Barnes & Nobles. Look for them on Amazon.com. And enjoy. They're great stories. You're going to love them. So be nice. Be nice. And enjoy your holidays that are coming up. I'm always excited about this time of year. So we'll be talking. You take care, and love as always. Thank you.